WAFUNIF Lunch and Learn series. My name is Liliana Bucur Cress, and I'm the president of WAFUNIF, the World Association of Former United Nations Interns and Fellows, the official alumni association for the former UN interns and fellows worldwide. We work with representatives from various organizations such as technologists, policymakers, financiers, community representatives to educate and empower individuals to make a difference by discussing problems and solutions on a global scale. Through conferences, workshops, and mentorship programs, we equip our members with the skills and resources to drive positive change on global issues. Today, we are honored to speak with a distinguished representative from the Association of Professional Social Workers and Development Practitioners from India, which is a leading organization dedicated to advancing the field of social work and community development. The Association of Professional Social Workers and Development, as their acronym is APSWDP, has been at the forefront of addressing some of the most pressing social issues, from poverty alleviation and human rights advocacy to sustainable development and disaster resilience. Our guest today has been instrumental in shaping the organization's efforts to create a lasting change through capacity building, research, and policy development. We'll be diving into their journey by exploring key initiatives the association is currently engaged in, discussing the evolving role of social workers and development practitioners in tackling global challenges. Dr. Vivek Trivedi, who is the founder of the organization since 2014, basically after a decade of experience in traveling and participating in global programs and also the UNESCO World Conference in 2014. After 9 years of voluntary work, now they have a special status with the UN special consultative status under the ECOSOC, and also associated with the United Nations Department of Global Communication, and also as an observer status with the UNEA, UNEP, and UNFCCC. Good afternoon, Dr. Vivek Trivedi. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm very fine, and it's a pleasure of mine to be on your platform today.
It's our pleasure, it's our honor, and I would like to say a few words about you, and definitely we're looking forward to learn more about you and your organization. Dr. Vivek Trivedi is a professional social worker by education, development practitioner by profession, and social welfare administrator in government, activist by choice, global traveler by passion, and a motivational youth leader by experience. Also, it's a master trainer by skills, volunteer, poet, and human by heart and soul. Dr. Trivedi has a PhD in social work, and he has received numerous accolades and recognition from eminent institutions like the British Council and the Chandigarh Administration in India. Thank you for joining us today, and I would like to start our discussion by asking you if you can provide us an overview of the main objectives of your organization.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for onboarding me today and having an opportunity to share about our association. And as far as our genesis is concerned, I'll want to just recall the time how we conceived an idea to develop and evolve this organization. Like, we were the students of social work in 2006, and we were looking forward to be like members and associated with other networks so that we can have the network, we can have the knowledge network and enhance our skills So in the North India, we didn't find any such network, and those which are available, they at that time need not to respond to the queries of students, not active, inert like. And in finally 2014, we have given a thought to start a forum, a virtual forum, so that people having such background can network each other, know how each other. So in 2014, we finally decided to go for a legal status, and we finally got a name, Association of Professional Social Workers and Development Practitioners, on the very first day of the December 2014, and which happens to be the World AIDS Day also. So that's how we, came into existence, and we all, members who founded this association are from development sector, from academia also, from different background. And to go further, we enhance the association of this, professional social workers by adding on to development practitioners, by the request which we receive from other networks like, public health, like, engineering sciences, like, disaster management. So now the acronym has gone to such long that APSWDP, Association of Professional Social Workers and Development Practitioners. And the objective, the very objective behind this is to, promote social work as a profession through national and regional international cooperations and other network also, and to strengthen the professional values, ethics, standards, and professional relationship with the employing organizations. That's the second objective which we have, dwell upon, and to support other social organizations, community-based organizations, non-profit organizations by promoting professional social work education so that people from this background and those who are engaged in the sector can collaborate, can, engage professional people so that, delivery of services be ensured in a professional manner, and also the values of great Indian reformers into social work education and profession as well. And the lastly, the objective behind this is to bridge between the social work organizations, those who are professionally running, and the development agencies which are executing, the development initiatives or the development projects at grassroots level. So idea behind this was to, have a network which can work parallelly with the educators, with the practitioners, and can bridge the gap. So this was, the idea behind this, evolving such a beautiful network, which is now, completing 10 years of existence now. Yeah.
Can you expand a little bit on how your organizations support the social workers and development practitioners across your country, across India?
See, the association has extended membership to students in universities and departments and educational institutions, as well as, extended network to the wider academicians in the various universities. Now it's gone global also. And the students who are studying this, like if we see the West, like where you're sitting in US, what we studied that this is the origin from West, from USA, from UK, and the students who are, learning in Indian perspective, and they are studying, even we studied also the, philosophy of, people who are in US and UK. So right now at present, the students in India are struggling. You know, the problems in, countries where it emerged are different in terms of cultural, in terms of, geography, in terms of outreach. So we support, the students of social work in the sense we used to organize sessions for them. We used to visit university, tying up with the department of social work and giving hands-on experience and giving opportunity to interact with the professionals, those who studied and now they are professionals in very eminent and professional organizations, even national level, local level, or those who are in ministry working, so that they can have chances to interact with the professionals who have gone through the same education and now they are working with the government at, different levels, so that they shall know how we have to move and how we have to establish after getting such education in the development sector. So we used to connect with the people, to the students, those who are learners, and we, give priority to the areas which are far flung and remote areas where connectivity is a major issue. Challenge is a major, getting connected to the people who are of such stature or who are with the experiences. So we connect with the, students in different remote locations so that they can also have, vision that yes, we can have this education and we can, after attending this education, can have the opportunity to work for their government also, not only government but, in other organizations, those who are corporate like organizations, those who are offering, development projects. So, and one more, our objective is to build the capacity of local people. Why not a project in the underdeveloped area? So we used to pick up people in underdeveloped area and pursue. We used to fund also. We used to fund their education so that you just complete your either masters or bachelor in social work and try to get engage them in their locality only, so that you need not to move and go to other part of the country to serve. Better is to, idea is to identify people, get them enhanced through education, formal education in university and colleges, and getting back to engaged in their own community, so that they can go for, their own driven development with the skills, with the knowledge which they attain in university. So this is our idea. Then this is how we connect young people, and we also persuade young people after their schooling to pursue careers in social work, so that, like, people, go for, some subjects which are of commercial nature. Parents want them to get into MBAs, getting into engineering sciences, and looking for some different sites. But this sector in India is not having much attention, and people are not much curious to go for this. Nowadays, with the emergence of international agencies, international projects, they are getting good options to work, but people don't prefer to go with. So we are persuading, we are convincing, we are motivating them to having career in social work, so that you can change the change the scenario of the area where you belong to, or the country, or the welfare sector, on the development domain. So this is our idea. So this is how we move into the community, move into the young people, and getting them to education, formal education, and assisting them in getting engaged also through internship, through project work, and through employment also.
Can you expand a little bit? What are some of the recent key projects that the organization has been involved in recently?
Yes, like if I recall, last 3 years, prior to 3 years, we were not into any projects, but later our management realized that if we are working for this domain, to strengthen the domain, to build the capacity, to build the network, then our the previous president recommended to have projects. Then since 3 years we are implementing two major projects funded by government. One is targeted intervention project, and another is link worker scheme project. So the previous one is in the urban domain, and the link worker scheme is in rural domain, and it's a public health and community development projects. So here, like, the association is implementing and employing more than 40 persons with with the capability to run community driven development, and executing the targeted communities like high risk groups. And these projects cater to the needs of people who are into drug addiction, those who are into the domain of sexually transmitted disease like HIV/AIDS, like the other sexual minorities like transgenders, LGBTQ, and female sex workers, and MSM community. So these projects are catering to the needs of people who are engulfed into the infections, or public health domain. And we are very recently, I am happy to announce, even we got just day before the notification, that we won the HUTCO Best Practice Award 2024, and which will be given to association for rendering the work for the welfare and mainstreaming of transgender communities in the region. And we have picked up them, we have done the baseline data also, and then identification, and then linking them to some informal skills, and then connecting them to wage employment. Like, if you see in India, TGs are considered to beg in the streets. So we are trying to transform the community leadership, so that they can come and can transform their behavior, and getting on to some formal sector employment. So this is what we are trying to do through our two projects, and these are two funded projects by the government. And beyond these projects, we also have non-funded projects which we are running, on our resources, on the members' contribution resources, along with our partner institutions in kind. Like, we have gone for empowerment of women also. So we have, implemented a project with Usha International, which is a corporate company, and they have supported us in building the capacity of women living in suburbs and urban slums. So this we successfully completed, and this project has made them to have their own social enterprise in their community. So they are, having a dignified kind of livelihood. And other than this, we also had one project during COVID-19, which we have evolved on our, resources, and that was COVID-19 Solidarity Relief Campaign, which we ran for 85 days through our network, members network, and we have gone for the support to the people who are in need, like migrants people. Like, Chandigarh is a city, metro city, and it has a migrant population. So during COVID-19, they tend to migrate on their foot to, while walking to 2,500 kilometers, if you have read through newspapers. So we have worked for them, for providing them, some, these nutrients, these food items, and counseling also, because, people were depressed. So this is how we have rendered to the needs and emerging needs, or sometimes, the assist needs during the emergencies. And our network is always at the forefront with, government and, some eminent organizations which are of philanthropy in nature, or corporate organizations, and they tend to come together to support. And we have led that, you know, campaign for more than 90 days. And again, government has, recognized us, by awarding us the state award for, COVID-19 relief campaign by the honorable governor of the, our state. So these are the projects like which we have carried forward. And very recently, we had a meeting with, U.S. Embassy, public diplomacy division. We are also interested to, come forward to support us in our innovative projects, and they have promised us to, to evolve or conceptualize some interesting and innovation, so that, they can be like, our, partners in the development. So this is how, we are having such projects. Yes.
Congratulations for the award and for all the work you have been doing for so many years. Since we're still talking at the UN about the 17 SDGs, at least
Yeah.
until 2030, I would like to know if you can elaborate on the role of your organizations in promoting the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yes. Like, once I was a student, I recall my, childhood when I was in fourth standard. And that time I read one chapter in social science, and that was United Nations systems. And in fourth, so I have imagined like UN systems in my schooling, and later, taking on to that school chapter in reality. With, I was involved in, like, when I was in school with UNICEF. And later, when we founded this organization, once we got this consultative status, and when we got engaged with UNESCO, UNEP, and other UN, entities, that time we have made a commitment to ourselves that whatever we do, whatever the conceptualization or the plans or the projects which we will evolve, that shall align the targets set by the United Nations and the Sustainable Development Goals. And to my mind and to our, team, that we have always translated sustainable development goals into local languages. Like we at the apex bodies, attend conferences, meetings, and workshops, and we learn from them. But if you go to the grassroots, if you go to the local administration, you'll come to know that they are not aware of SDG targets. For many years, there's a gap. And so we have, through our organization and other networks, we have executed many training workshops, conclaves, conferences, and symposiums with Department of Social Work in various universities like CBLU in Haryana, in Chandigarh, in Himachal, in Punjab, and colleges and schools also. And there was one partner of us is the Climate Reality Project India and South Asia. We are working together on SDG 13. And under SDG 13, we are executing two major programs, non-funded programs on our volunteer network. That is Green Campus Program, and another one is Teachers Training Program. We, through our network, train teachers on SDG 13, and the major, area which we cover is lifestyle change and modifying behavior. So that, like from the school children and when building the citizens of the country, then they shall know, how they can contribute towards, reducing their carbon footprint. So SDG 13 is our core concern. And another SDG which we have, pinned down in our, actions and, activities, that's SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. We are working on, various communities so that, they can work on triple R, recycling, reuse, and reduce strategy of UN. And they have picked up, certain trades. They have got certain skill trainings, and they have evolved into some social enterprises which are, truly depicting the triple R strategy and making the city sustainable. So two SDGs which are core to our heart. Otherwise, we are working on, health and well-being also, no poverty, and we are gender, equality. And then the most prime SDG which we also, push is SDG 17, the 16 plus one goal, partnership building. And partnership is our like, core crux. We believe in partnership, and we don't like feel like working in silo. We like to build convergence, we like to build partnership, And one, major thing which has attracted, my mind and my, team mind. Now we are promoting, world without wars, building peace. You know, we are developing countries. Some are developed countries. They are into, kind of, enmity, wars, and this is affecting the global scenario. Young people, children, killings. So we have, decided to work gradually with support of, some organizations which are working on faith building, faith-based organizations to promote peace also. And this is how we have given a space to SDG. And since I was involved in UNESCO ESD World Conference as a, drafting committee member for youth statement in Nagoya Declaration, so I tend to meet, like Director General and various senior UN officials there. So they have also, motivated me. They have, I have driven inspiration from, many, global leaders there. And this is how, their, thoughts and their sayings have transformed my mind and inspire me to take, such areas to push, such areas to promote. And so this is how we have, made a commitment to ourselves to work on SDGs. And we are simplifying SDGs and targets into, the local languages so that, people, those who do not understand the English or the global scenario, learn to know how they can contribute, towards sustainable agenda. And we have dedicated our newsletter, that is the Voyage, which is a quarterly newsletter. And we have given, every quarter we have, chosen one SDG. So it's an exercise for us for 4 years, and we are completing almost 3.5 years. So by I know, next four issues we will be covering all the 17 SDGs, since the, we have launched the Voyage. So this is how we commit. This is how we execute our, actions into reality.
Beautiful. I would like also to know, how does your organization, the Association of Professional Social Work and Development Practitioners, collaborate with international organizations such as the United Nations?
See, I have an opportunity, like from my student days, even university days, to travel on fellowship and grants for, some, leadership programs like International Youth Parliament. So when I traveled for the first time, and I realized that, even from my mentors like, Ethan from US, he was in Australia and he was my mentor there. So what I learned from him, like he said, okay, you study, you work, you will be having, some kind of employment, you will earn, but what shall you do for? So think of some domain which you can, lead, which you can, develop, evolve, and work for, wider community. So span your horizon. So that is how, I come up with, a mind that while visiting for the first time, then I started building networks. So even from 2004 in International Youth Parliament by Oxfam and Diplomacy Training in University of New South Wales, I developed this network into kind of knowledge network. And it's not my network. I have given and extended this knowledge network to my fellow juniors and created a way for them to proceed to travel around the world, learn and come to India and then work together. So I believe in, think global and act local. So we love to, recommend people, young people for many, spaces where they can be fit in as youth ambassador or, change agents or catalyst of change. So once, I was with first time assignment in, with UN, then I realized in the exhibitions, in the side events that, NGOs or non-profit organizations or associations can be a part of as a CSO partner of UN agencies. Then I learned from them. Then I first time, applied. So once we announced this, consultative status with the UN ECOSOC, from their network we have been receiving, many, opportunities for us, for our members, for associations, like, submitting written statements, oral statements, contributing papers, policy papers, some kind of, some comments. So this gradual, involvement with UN ECOSOC has further opened our gateways. Even within our country, we never visited like UN office in Delhi, but once we are with UNESCO, so their offices, they got us network for participation. And Consultative status, gone further to like with UNEP, with UNFCCC very recently, and our people and our members are contributing for the 3 years in conference of parties like in 27, 28, and 29. Our more than 10 members delegation will be participating in Azerbaijan, Baku of 29, and we are being invited as a session experts as also. We are organizing co-organize side events also, and we are signing various MOUs with other organizations there also. This is how, and even prior to the consultative status, I am just recalling an instance like we used to commemorate the UN Day also. This is like we used to celebrate with our people like UN Day, and we have organized various virtual seminars and conferences celebrating and dedicating the day to the UN in India. And this is how we have got network with the information division of UN. And so this network has made us in knowledge network and think tank, and this is how we learn and this is how we network. And it has created a space for a small organizations which is evolved at Chandigarh and has gone global in many countries, in many in UN programs. So this is how we grow, and we thank UN for creating such opportunity for organizations like us, those which are associations, and having a space in a wide fora where we can communicate to the world that what we are doing and what our ideas also. Yeah.
You mentioned about the few, let's say, initiatives the organization is working on, but can you expand on the initiatives that the organization has taken to address some of the youth issues? For
Mhm.
example, unemployment and the
Yes.
addiction.
Yes. Like unemployment is like not our direct issue which have we have taken up, but skill building and building the professional skills. That is like there's a disconnect between the education and the employment. Like if you see the country scenario, like in India, people go for higher education in the sense they do school and then college and then university. So I have learned from my one of mentor. He was former chief secretary to Punjab, Mr. P.H. Vaishnav. He has made me that okay, finish first certificate or degree and go for some evaluation of yours. Get engaged somewhere. So I have followed like every degree or diploma whatever I have studied, I have completed and then got engagement. Then later I started to further study. So this is how we have learned, and that is what the gap is. People tend to learn in one go, and they don't go for. So once they attend the higher education, and they don't get the employment, then they are underemployed. So for that, we have created a space where we used to give them professional skills training in our set of it, in our set of environment. So largely we don't create like we are not running any employment exchange, but we connect with the employers of our domain, and we used to collect the bank of opportunities in India in local or at local level or the global level, and then we used to provide those opportunities to the people who are in need through our WhatsApp network, through our newsletters, and this is how we connect. And as far as de-addiction is concerned, I have already shared that we are having one link worker scheme project and TI project in which we are catering to the needs of young people who are engulfed in such kind of some drug abuse kind of thing. So there's a counseling setup. We have got counselors and we have got network of counselors through government setup, and we tend to recommend or refer such people for counseling. And there are other networks of other NGOs, those who are having expertise and kind of projects they are running. So we network with them, and we used to refer people who are in need to the projects.
Can you explain or elaborate a little more about your organization's approach to capacity building and also the training for social workers?
Yes, why not? Like I like we have while framing this organization and the objectives and the mission and vision, we have kept one thing in mind which we have learned from Global Action Program of Education Sustainable Development of UNESCO. which we attended in 2014. So like those were like advancing policies. So to me and to our organization, we have decided to keep three of the five global action programs. One was capacity building and training. Second was empowering and training educators and youth. And third was accelerating the local solutions and local projects. So capacity building and training was the frame was in our mind. So we developed this vertical and we on and off with educational institutions, like we have more than 18 MOUs with many entities of global nature, national nature, which include academia, universities. So we are working, in partnership with private and government universities on, building the capacity of young people and teachers also, so that like we are professionals. And in education environment, they used to be there for studying, attending classes, lectures. So we used to give them hands-on experience. We used to give them opportunity to network in community-driven projects, community development projects. We are offering opportunities for them to get engaged as a volunteer also. So we do provide platform for them for a certain period, so that they can have experience and they can imbibe certain professional skills, so that they can get easily be absorbed wherever they are thinking, either in job, either in social enterprises or social startups. So this is how we assist young people. And we are always flooded with young students from various eminent institutions in the country, like Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, like Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Punjab University, which is these are some eminent institution in our region. So we always give mentorship and we give them challenge also, so that they can execute it and they can learn and can go. So this is how we go for CBT, capacity building and training programs.
And also, I would like to know at this point, how does your organization support the rural communities and remote areas through its program? You mentioned you're in the north part of India, in Chandigarh.
Yeah. Like Chandigarh is a metro town and which is surrounded by Punjab, Haryana, and Himachal. And rural community, we are connecting the rural youth through some of our network, students network. So we tend to invite them in our like 2 3 days capacity building program. Sometimes we used to commemorate some important days of UN also. So in that we invite them through network like National Services Scheme, NSS. And NSS is the it is the largest youth network in the country, which is through educational department. So these students are in school, and from that part we used to communicate and convey regarding career counseling, and regarding taking them into some development domain through development studies, through social work, through studies in rights, studies in women development. So this is how we convey to the larger communities of young people to see these are the options available for them to study at university and postgraduate level. So we do communicate through this network, and hitting directly the community, rural community. That is what we not doing in the entire region. But I have shared that we are having one rural development project, that is link worker scheme, and in that we used to connect with the rural community through the the lowest tiers of governance, that is panchayat level. So through that level, local leaders, those who are in villages, the women, the religious leaders, we used to work through them on various social domain, like social securities, like empowering livelihood, mainstreaming of minorities, and getting connected them to some health and educational institutions. So this is how we running rural development segment, but not as a major, but it is kind of minor project to us.
At this point in our interview, I would like also to talk to you about what are some major challenges that faced by development practitioners today, and also how does your organization helps address these challenges?
Like sometime the practitioners and social workers used to face in country like the country like India, which is very wide at length and breadth. you know Somehow people miss network. Hmm? They got educated, they got awarded, but they don't get connected to the networks of employers, institutions, or organizations. Like LinkedIn is a wider network. It is for us, but people living in remote and areas which are underdeveloped, not possible for them. Even internet connectivity is very good in the country, but digital literacy is a big challenge for the country. So getting them onto the network is a challenge for us also. People do join and people remain silent for many much time. Like we have got a network, so people can on app they can network to each other. They can learn, they can ask, they can share. But I've seen they feel like that's a personality issue sometimes. They feel like shy. They feel like some introvert nature. They do not like to interact in conferences, meetings, but they do attend. So we used to go for conducting some personality assessment related to professional character, what is required. So we do provide them the opportunity to interact with the professionals who are our members, who are emeritus members, who are our professional members. So we tend to give them opportunity to get mentor network, so that they can have mentor from our side, so that they can one-to-one interact or one-to-group interaction, or they can through emails, so that they can have you know they can have opportunity to talk to someone from the same field. Like if you talk to me, how you get inspired, then I'll definitely mention the mentors. They have given me a torch, torch in the development sector. So I'll definitely name Dr. Rajan Velukar, like Aminul Islam Khan, those who have given me a dream or visualization or conceptualization. So such is the requirement of professional, and they do lack such thing in the university at college level. So we used to connect them with the right mentor and right approach, so that they can learn and then they can give their directions into reality. This is how our professional network helps. So many members, young members, have got benefited through mentorship network. Even like today, we were discussing, like there was a one cafe I read on internet, possibly in Denmark, that is talking library. Talking library is a concept, possibly, I'm not sure it's in Denmark, but somewhere in Europe. So that's the concept behind is, somebody can sit in the coffee house and one can have coffee with someone who is already sitting there, who has got so much experience, like veteran professional, or he can have coffee with him. So he can spend time having coffee with him or her and can gain experience from the, living legends like. So we are thinking today, why not we have an innovative, kind of space, not cafe or anything, so that we can allow, or we can have a bank of professionals, those who have 40, 50 plus years of experience, and young people can come and say, okay, I want to, have a time with sir. So this is what, we are thinking. So possibly, maybe we can have this, kind of experiment through our association. So we are trying. So this is how, mentor network is very much necessary. I think you must agree to it.
That's right. I think just by having this dialogue and getting to know your organization and our organizations, we can bring to light the
Yeah.
work that NGOs are doing on the ground. I would like you also to expand a little bit on how does your organization engage with policymakers to bring about social reform.
Uh, Regarding social reforms and policymakers, like once we started exercise, like our country like India, we have got the topmost services as Indian Administrative Services, IAS. Is the topmost coveted administrative services in the country. Those who qualify it, they are the policymakers or the secretaries in the government. We have realized that if somebody who is from social work background and want to be a bureaucrat or the administrator, has to pick up another subject, sociology or geography or some other scoring subject, to appear in that exam. So from the perspective of social work, we don't have that option to go for that exam and can be in the social welfare administration sector. So we have given a thought and we have been in touch with the policymakers and the government or the constitutional authorities, and we are pressing and pushing our idea that why not Indian administrative services evolve Indian welfare services or welfare cadre. I am not sure whether US has welfare cadre or not, but in India we have administrative services, we have police cadre, we have economic services, we have railway services, but not welfare services. So we are of the view in this segment we are working hard through ethical lobbying and getting onto this subject in state civil services or Indian administrative services and as far as other concerns like climate concerns or some welfare concerns, we are member in various bodies. We are consultant member in various bodies in our area, like in various lawmaking bodies like Honorable High Court. Our members are the members in the High Level Committee of Juvenile Justice Act, some other legal. So our members are having opportunity or association is opportunity to working with the various bodies to come for some transformation changes or some amendment, and through these we are working on it. Yeah, नेटवर्क डिसरप्शन हो रहा है करो कॉल तो नहीं आ रही उसको फोन करके बोल दो घर पे कॉल
ब्रेक बोल दिया करो ताकि वो कट कर दें रिकॉर्डिंग इससे
yeah I think it got disconnect somewhere.
Yeah, I think we got disconnected. I don't know why. Probably the internet on your side.
Yeah,
But-
possibly. Yeah. So I think the last like I was, if you remember where you stopped listening.
No, I was listening just a few seconds. We got disconnected.
Okay, and it's fine.
You
Can we
would like?
have a break for? Can we have a break for 1 minute?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, fine. It's working now. So I was saying, we are, our association is member in various bodies of the government, and our members are contributing in various subjects like, legal matters also, in social security schemes also, and our members are, invited in various forums where, consultations, roundtables are there in framing policies. Like, very recently, our members are invited by the British consulate, those who are working on LGBTQ. So we are a part of various bodies where we are contributing as a whole organization approach, and our members are also contributing at their individual level, in getting certain things developed or revised or getting some amendments. So we are contributing, giving suggestions to government also, like where some of people think like some changes are required. So we used to write to the government, to the right segment for amendments. So this is how we contribute, and we are waiting for a larger picture in coming time. Like our country is there was a bill in the Lok Sabha for social sector professionals. Like, in country, we don't have license, practicing license, like professional license, like the way medical practitioners and legal practitioners used to have license to practice. But in our country, we don't have a facility or any, kind of body which provide licenses to social workers so that they can individually practice. So this is, pending in our government, and possibly in upcoming time, we shall be having a council of social work council in the country, so that those who are practicing, so that they can be governed under certain law. So that is what we are thinking it's missing, and we are hopeful that in upcoming time it will be there.
I would like also for you to expand on how can you share more about the platforms that your organization provides for scholars and youth leaders?
Like wherever the opportunities we find for the young people, we have got a WhatsApp network, some social media close network for the members. So we used to circulate on daily basis the opportunities which we receive through UN bodies and UN entities for nominations, for applications, for coming up in some bodies for training workshop, and then we used to share with our people, the close network, and we also publish in our newsletters also, possible opportunities, and this is how we have got sharing model for our members, and
And
we
in
have
the
Google
end,
groups. Yeah.
in the end of our conversation, also I would like to know what future goals does your organization have in terms of expanding in global outreach?
Yeah, we are quite hopeful, and after so many years in development sector and 9 years of existence with this association, we have realized that we are not having a center for excellence in social welfare administration. Like we have, public administration, financial administration, and we are of opinion and thought that we shall be working on developing this center for excellence through our network, or possibly if not through our network, then we will surely mobilize resources to get it established either by the government or funded by some corporates or on triple P model, so that those who are experienced, those who are coming up with this sector can have specialized kind of training, a specialized some kind of exposure, so that they can better deliver while being in certain position. Yeah. And second is, we are not into consultancy now. The second level which we are thinking to evolve is the consultancy in development sector, and particularly to social welfare domain. Third one which we are looking for in coming future is research, more into research, social work research and publications, and we have started publications, and possibly by December we will be having a regular by it's a sorry half yearly publication, and that's a journal. We have conceived an international journal of social work and sustainable development, and we have published first copy, and we have submitted to ISSN body for allotment of ISSN, so that we can work in accordance with the publications manual, and hopefully we will be having this as a regular feature of our organization. So at present we are having three future goals which we are thinking to establish an institution of ours or a partnered institution, or this evolving this social work research domain, and third one is like consultancy, offering consultancy. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate all the work you're doing in your country, and congratulations for all the achievements, and also for your anniversary on December 1st this year. Please continue the good work that you're doing for the people in your country. And also I want to thank for those who are watching us. Thank you for joining in today's Lunch and Learn series, where we explore the key topics related to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We hope that you found the discussion insightful and inspiring, and please remember that every small action contributes to larger impact. Please stay connected with us for more sessions as we continue to delve into each of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals and trying to discover practical ways that we can make a difference. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this series with others committed to a global change, and to stay updated on our latest efforts and events. To learn more about our mission and initiatives, go to www.wafunif.org. Please make a donation, and also to your organization, and we'll make sure that we will have your website and your social media platforms listed on the end of our video. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Sure. And in fact, it's my pleasure to be with you, and I must say thank on behalf of my association. And in fact, we do like to sometime partnership with you also. We can invite you over virtual platforms, and in case if you are in India, then do let us know. We will be happy in hosting you.
Definitely, I will be more than honored. I've been to India a couple of times, and I spent some time actually in Rishikesh.
Okay, Rishikesh. It's not very far from Chandigarh. It's 3.5 drive from Chandigarh. So next time when you plan for Rishikesh, do plan for Chandigarh as well. to give us the
Definitely.
opportunity to host you.
Definitely. I'm looking forward. And yes, also we would like to, maybe we can organize a conference at the UN where we can bring a lot of organizations like yours and learn from each other and
Very true.
connect with other organizations so we can exchange more information and learn how we can advance the work of the UN and
Okay.
what we're doing in the world. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.